Let's talk about the school library program and many of the elements that make it successful. Let's put it all together. The quotation you see on the slide is from the class text. Where do I start? The school library program is truly an avenue for children to discover the world of stories and storytelling. Children come into the library to read, and that means there should be some comfy corners for them. They come to listen, to hear great stories and storytelling. They practice information literacy skills in their research on class projects, and they create a variety of responses, including research papers, models, digital presentations, and so much more. Storytime is a gift to children as it provides an opportunity to create links to higher quality children's books and open up the world of stories for children. Judy Freeman is a consultant writer and speaker about children's literature and the co-author with Carolyn Feller-Bauer of the revised edition of the Handbook for Storytellers and the Handbook for Storytime Programs, both American Library Association editions. I was fortunate to recently attend a full-day workshop that Judy presented and saw firsthand what a treasure she is. The handbooks shown on this slide are great resources for planning library programs and as an introduction to storytelling. Carolyn Feller-Bauer was a dynamic storyteller in her own right and traveled all over the country and the world to present workshops on storytelling. Along with her storytelling, she incorporated props and giveaways. One example of giveaways was for the story Momotaro the Peach Boy. She collected peach pits at a canning operation near her home in the state of Oregon, spray painted them gold, and handed them out at the end of the story. That small, inexpensive gift made a memory those children will remember. These resources would be a splendid addition to any professional library. So the first step in storytelling is to choose a story. In preparation for storytelling, begin by selecting a story that is truly enjoyable. It should be a story you enjoy because you're going to be spending a lot of time preparing it. Then you can tell it with enthusiasm and conviction. Here is a step-by-step guide for novice storytellers. First, know your audience so that you can adapt the story to their interests, ages, and experiences. Remember that younger children have shorter attention spans, so plan accordingly. Young children also appreciate stories about familiar subjects. They respond to repetition and enjoy joining in with the storyteller. Folk tales have characteristics that make them excellent choices for a novice storyteller. They feature familiar characters, a strong beginning, and repetitive language. For young children, consider folk tales such as Henny Penny and stories about the threes: the three bears, the three pigs, the three Billy Goats Gruff. Then consider and adapt the mood you would like to convey, be it humorous, scary, or serious. In preparing the story, the first step is to read it about 3 times, and as you read, mentally list the sequence of events. Reread the story, this time noting the events you didn't remember. Go over the main events again and add details that you do remember. When you believe you know it, tell it to a mirror, carefully watching your facial expressions. Practice it 3 or 4 more times, changing your voice so to give the characters voices. Consider your posture and perhaps some hand gestures if you think they will add to the interest of the story. As you tell the story, use pauses to separate scenes. Finally, you might consider adding a prop that relates to the story. It could be a simple everyday object or a puppet or even a colorful book jacket. Consider some sort of routine for engaging in a story hour. For example, lighting a small lamp or candle. When the lamp is lit, it's time to listen. I couldn't resist showing this lamp as a DIY thought. Thank you, Pinterest. Music can also be a storytime symbol, perhaps a certain tune, a familiar song on a music box, or something played on a guitar or ukulele. Locate a space in the library where children can see and hear easily. Then it's time to begin. If you have decided to include a prop of some sort, use it to introduce the story. Or you may decide to tell something about the author or where the story comes from, a related event, or ask a question. Be sure to maintain eye contact with the children to engage them in the story. At the end, pause to let them soak it all in. Click on the image on this slide for some excellent stories from the staff at Orange County Public Library. Press the play button on the video screen to start the first video, or you can select a different story by clicking the small playlist button on the upper left-hand side of the video screen. So now it's time to hear a story. Sit back and relax. When you finish this presentation, there are several articles about story time and storytelling to read that are posted in the Week 4 class folder. Your text on pages 81 to 83 offers some excellent background information on preparing and giving book talks in the library. Simply stated, a book talk is a short commercial designed to encourage a reader to pick up the book. It is short and to the point, and it's a bit like storytelling or acting. There are three main parts to a book talk: the hook, the content, and the cliffhanger. The hook grabs the audience's attention. Perhaps it's an opening line or a quotation from the book. Perhaps it is a question, something that will spark the interest of the students. Give just enough of the content to give your listeners a taste of the story. You might describe a scene in the story, describe a character, or give a short summary of the plot, but only up to a certain point. End your book talk with something unresolved that will motivate your reader to check out the book. Finally, just as with storytelling, practice the book talk. Because you want the book to be read, be sure to have an available copy of the book and other similar titles that the students can check out. Be sure to check out the links on book talks in Chapter 4 of your text. A book trailer is a short video that introduces a book, much like the movie trailers you see in a theater. It introduces the basic storyline of the book and other features. The web is filled with amazing book trailers that have been designed and produced by students, librarians, publishers, and teachers. Take a moment to see the example provided on the slide by clicking the image for Wonder to see the publisher's book trailer. Then do an online search for book trailers about some of your favorite books and see what amazing ones you can find. Here is a short 3-minute video that introduces students to the Dewey Decimal System, call numbers, and how books are shelved in a library. It was created using Powtoon, which is a free tool that allows you to develop animated clips and presentations. Check it out at their link on the slide. Then be sure to check out your text on pages 91 to 93 for a review of the Dewey. Just think of it as 8th grade decimals. Finally, here are some specific skills that students need to learn that ensure they will become lifelong learners. They need to learn how to access, evaluate, and use information and resources, and the school library is an important venue where these information literacy skills can be learned. Typically, students learn information skills best when these skills are integrated into research projects conducted in the library, making them relevant to what they are working on in their classroom studies. As they work on their projects, these skills fill an immediate need and offer students an opportunity for practice. The Model School Library Standards for California Public Schools were developed to provide library staff and teachers guidelines on appropriate skills in the areas of access, evaluation, use, and integration of information skills for every grade, kindergarten through grade 12. There is a link to the standards document in the Week 1 folder. The video on this slide describes the information literate person who is the culmination of learning these skills throughout the school years. That's it for now. You have a lot of food for thought, so ruminate on what you have seen, take some time to explore the links in the presentation, and stay tuned for the next episode.